Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Shri Madhusudana Das. Haribo. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jai. Jai Srila Gaura Haridas. Jai Srila Gaura Haridas. Jai the devotees. Jai all the devotees. Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Nityananda Shri Advaita. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Haribol. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Like, I never read the Bible. I'd seen movies, Exodus, dramatizations and stuff. But I actually never read it. I tried. I did. Seriously, I knew it was an important book. And I tried. But especially King James, you know, these and thous and shoulds nots, and this is, it was too much from another time and another place. The activities, it was the culture was just too different. I couldn't relate to the people or what they were doing or anything. But I'm going back now, and I'm reading the Bible. I went through Exodus, I went through Genesis, I went through Exodus, and now I'm on Leviticus. I'm starting, you know, the whole thing, the Old Testament all the way through. It's an important scripture that in the times we're living, especially in the western part of the world, this is the main scripture, is the New and Old Testaments. So, Hare Krishna, Hare, it's an important scripture. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Boy, the people were different, you know. They were tribes people. They didn't really, they weren't really like situated somewhere. They were tribes people, at least up to this point. And they were meat eaters. They weren't hunters. They didn't hunt. They kept livestock, and that was their food. Livestock and grains, evidently. I don't know where they got the grains. Maybe they stayed long enough in one place to grow grains and like that. But those are the things that are mentioned when they do their sacrifices. They sacrifice the animal, and they, you know, then they do their offering, you know, make an offering. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. It's an animal and grains. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. So Gohari, he's very often he makes a comparison, in historically speaking, of the development of the different spiritual cultures. And these cultures do develop over time and generations. He makes the comparison that, like Srila Prabhupada did a lot of the same kinds of things for the culture, the spiritual culture, that Moses did for the people at that time. In other words, he gave a lot of rules and ways to make offerings and sacrifices. It's a little different. It's not a meat-eating culture. It's a vegetarian culture. And there are a lot of very significant differences, but when you look at the parallels of, on a higher sense of what's being given, is a lot of rules. And you know, I see, until I read the some of these sections of the Old Testament, I thought, well, Moses, he gave the 10 Commandments, he gave rules, but actually he gave a lot of rules. And he established a priestly order which could compare to Brahminical for those people at that time. He established the priestly order and what their duties were and how they were. You can see the kind of forming of a varnashram within that culture. There were artisans. They were engaged in the service of the Lord. There were farmers with the grains and so on. And the farmers with the livestock, they were engaged in, and then the priestly order was formed toward the end of Exodus and now into Leviticus. It's all the rules for that culture. And my word, I mean, there are even rules governing what kind of pimple you can have. If you've got a pimple that's white and it's got a white hair in it, you have to go outside the society. You're considered contaminated. I mean, that's a pimple or a boil. Evidently, you know, like when you look at it now, it looks very archaic because we have modern medical science, you know. All you do is put a little ointment on it. It goes away most of the time. But then, evidently, they didn't. The priests were saying, governing medical care, they were governing all kinds of things. You went to the priest. They established this priestly order within that society, within that culture. Hare Krishna. And so Moses was giving all these different laws, what the priests could do, what they couldn't do, what the people could do and they couldn't do, the rules governing, a woman after she gave birth, she had to remain separate until she was considered clean again. I mean, all these things. We see similar kinds of things within the Vaishnava culture. Prabhupada didn't stress those things. He was very selective, and he only gave a tiny little bit. But if you really go into the Vedas, they have all these very strict rules about if somebody in the family dies, if you're in this caste, you can't go into the temple for like 30 days. If you're in that Varna, you can't go into the temple for 10 days. I mean, there's like really strict rules. Prabhupada only gave a tiny remnant, just a tiny remnant of those things. But there are lots and lots of strict rules. Hare Krishna, 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 because Prabhupada was empowered and Krishna was working through him, and so he was able to discern how much, and like a prescription for the culture, and not to overload the culture with all these unnecessary things in Kali Yuga, to reach the actual goal, which is to be able to enter into this environment, spiritual environment. So how much was actually needed for purification to be able to reach that level of ecstatic devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But those rules in the Old Testament are very strict. Aaron was Moses' brother, I believe. Yeah, he was his brother. And Moses was getting direct guidance by his connection with God. He was getting his guidance, and God was speaking to him directly. The only thing Moses didn't see was the Lord's face. The Lord would not show him his face. He could see the Lord's back, but he couldn't see the Lord's face. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We know what the face is. It's the 10th canto. So Moses didn't have access to that. He had access to the Lord's back, which is still the Lord, but that's where Maya resides, behind the Lord. So he was, that was his situation. But he was taking instruction from the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And his brother was Aaron, and Aaron was set up as the chief priest, and all his descendants. And there were very strict rules and laws governing what those priests could do. And two of Aaron's sons, they made, it seemed to be a minor mistake. They offered something that wasn't prepared properly, or it wasn't very clean or something, and they were killed. They died. I think the fire itself like consumed them or something. But anyway, the laws were really strict, and if somebody didn't follow properly, they would die, or they would have to be excommunicated from the community. I mean, it was like really, really strict stuff. So I'm reading about a lot of animals being slaughtered with blood thrown on the altar, and the liver and the kidneys and the legs being piled on the fire, and the fat being thrown somewhere else. And they're preparing their offerings. Hare Krishna. Oh my word. It's very bloody. Hare Krishna. Very bloody. Hare Krishna. But this, and then the priests would eat the remnants of the offerings, and Hare Krishna is very bloody stuff. Hare Krishna, Hare. But that was then. These were tribes people. And but the idea is all these rules and laws. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So obviously it's in preparation for the appearance of Christ, which comes much later. Comes much 3,000 years later. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Things are a bit speeded up in the Vaishnava culture and not so bloody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. But the principles of it, looking at how these function. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Krishna. So I printed up some flyers, and I was thinking to invite people to hear from Gauri Das. And so I went to the temple yesterday. It's like across the street. But I didn't see anyone that I could even give a flyer to. I couldn't, to be honest with you, I couldn't even make eye contact with anyone. I just couldn't even make eye contact. What to speak of, in a friendly way, inviting someone. So what I'm seeing is it's not the old way of trying to expand, and the way we did it was we'd run up to people and we'd overpower them and, give them a book and, get them to take a donation. But I don't see that that's, at least not for me, that's not going to work with this message now. What I'm seeing is it's more, they have to be attracted, which means I have to be absorbed in this loving mood of a relationship with Krishna. I have to be absorbed in that, and they have to be attracted to that. That's how this is going to spread. Not that I run up to them and I overpower them and insist they take. No, that's the other thing. It's not going to work like that. Like, for instance, I had to go to the store the other day, and they had some little plants on sale. I'm a sucker for plants. I really am. They were marked down and reduced. And it's winter here. It's warm, but the sun isn't very high on the horizon, so everything's brown. But it's warm, but it looks like winter, but it's still not so bad temperature-wise. But it looks like winter. And I need to see green, I just like to see green. So I got the little plants and I put them in my shopping cart. And what I noticed is, people are attracted to plants because it has life, it's alive. And they're, like, if somebody has a little dog in their shopping cart, people will stop, they'll smile at the little dog, they're attracted to life, Or if there's a cute little baby, somebody has a little baby in the cart, they're attracted to the baby. So I had these plants in the cart, and people were attracted to the plants, and it was a way to open a conversation because they were naturally attracted. And so they were talking about the plants, if you put it this way, you plant it this way, and if it gets cold, put a bag over it, all the devotional sentiments were coming out on this plant. There was a way for them to express some devotional service for something alive, for life, which it really, is kind of Krishna conscious in a kind of indirect way. And so I was able to talk with them. And one lady, I ended up finding out all about her life, She was very nice. And we were starting to sing and dance in a mood of love of God before we got to the checkout counter. We were like getting kind of high on acknowledging and witnessing. And it was really good. So I was able to give her a little mantra card and an invitation. I said, look, we have a group, we meet online from all over the world. And just like we're doing, feeling very good about everything. I find it uplifting. Why don't you go take a look? I was able to give her the card. So I think for me it's going to be more like that rather than me running up to people and trying to convince. That was the old way. That was the old way. Hare Krishna, Hare. It's more that they're attracted, and then when it opens up like that and there's some attraction, then they can get it. I can't run up to them and make them get it. That's not how it works. It's attraction. They have to be attracted. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then my service and my duty isn't to tell them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. That's not my... Because entering into the spirit of love of God, the spirit of love of God tells people what to do and what not to do. Naturally. It just to stay in that environment, it becomes obvious, oh, I don't need that, I'll stay. Or, oh, I do need that, and keep that. It's not up to me to, tell somebody what they should do and what they shouldn't do. What is that? That's terrible. It's not up to me. And you're going back to the laws and Leviticus and, punishments and should. No, it's not like that in this environment. It's just wonderful. It's a miracle, really. It's a miracle. Our Srila Gaur Haridas is a miracle. It's really a miracle. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Instead of anxiety, there's tears. Wonderful tears. Instead of anxiety, there's tears of gratitude. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What is anxiety? Forget. What is feeling guilty or pressured? No. There's just tears. That's all. Hare Krishna. There's a prayer by Madhavendra Puri. I try to find it sometime. When I read it, it like really stuck out. And it's like that, like I read a lot of things, but some things really jump out. And this one, we know Madhavendra Puri was the first one, as this Vaishnava culture is growing and developing, was the first one to manifest these symptoms of ecstatic love and the conjugal mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Well, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he was manifesting this. And his prayer is, I hope I don't mess it up here. I'll do the best I can. He said, goodbye my morning bath. Goodbye my religious principles. Goodbye my austerities. Goodbye all of this. Goodbye everything. Because now that I can remember the lotus-eyed Lord, wherever I go, all the time, I don't need you anymore. Something like that. I probably messed it up. But yeah, and that's what's going on. So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm seeing that the way people are going to get it is they have to be attracted to it, which means they have to see it, and they have to have association. Just like those people that saw the little plants in the shopping cart, they became attracted, and they would, and then we could communicate something. So that's the way now, is they have to be attracted. And not attracted to me. Good luck. Good luck. Not me. They have to be attracted to Krishna, which means Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like those people with the plants, they weren't exactly attracted to me, which was a relief. It let me communicate with them because they weren't focusing on me. They were focusing on the little plants. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then I could give them something. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So they have to be attracted to the message. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah, there's attraction for the messenger, of course. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, but not separate from the message. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare. What is it? Well, it's something like, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word became God in the flesh, or something like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Not separate. There can be no separate me from the Word. No, there can't be any. I have to be one in that sense with this vibration of love of God. Then I was thinking, there's always going to be illusion. There's always illusion because there's either Mahamaya or Yogamaya. Either we're in the cloud of the material energy where access to the Lord is indirect and therefore not very satisfying and always full of problems. Indirect relationship with the Lord through this illusory energy, it's indirect. It's like Gohari said yesterday, because I said, people say, they love ice cream or they love their car, but that's not really love. And I tell you, he is sharp. He is so connected with Krishna. He is so sharp. Man, he didn't quite agree with that. He sort of agreed, but not agreed. He said, well, actually it is Krishna. It's just the indirect form of Krishna. I'm like, oh yeah, duh. Well, that's what we call lust. That allows the lust. See, that allows, the indirect form of Krishna allows this trying to love and enjoy something through the senses without relationship with Krishna. That's the illusory energy. But it is Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. It's just indirect. Because it's indirect, the illusion can be there that there's no Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It was the example of the child that sees the moon and starts crying, I want that, give me that, give me that. What is the mother going to do? She gives him a mirror. Here's the moon. I have the moon. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You must get a reflection. But it's always changing, and a loving relationship can be there for a little while, and then it isn't there. And then, of course, there's death, and there's old age, and the body changes, it's not so pretty anymore. All these things going on. Hare Krishna. So it's the illusory energy, indirect relationship. I had that experience one time, I remember. Yeah. Wow, that's what that was. Woo! Krishna. Wow. I had that revelation a long time ago. We were traveling, selling things, what else is new, to make money pay the mortgage on one of the properties. And it was early in the morning in a campground. That's where I spent a lot of my devotional life, was in campgrounds chanting Hare Krishna. And in the field, the sun was reflecting on something. It was early morning, and it caught my eye. And the reflection was fantastic. You know how light can break down when it gets a prism effect? And it's all the colors, and it was breathtaking. And I was looking at it, and it was because the sun was reflecting on something. It was breathtaking, and I was stunned. And then, the sun is moving with it, and then it was gone. And I was trying to catch it, and I couldn't catch it. It was gone. So I was curious, what did it reflect on? So I went out and I looked, and there was a windshield from a broken down tractor out there. It was the glass from a broken down tractor. But it had captured something of the glory of the sun. Something. A reflection. And just the reflection alone, from the reflection, I could understand how great the sun was. And I knew if I looked directly at the sun, probably go blind, because these eyes aren't suited for that. But the reflection I could see, and I could understand from that the greatness of the sun. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. But it's a place of illusion, But so is the spiritual world. Here it's the Mahamaya, but there it's the Yogamaya. It's also an illusion. So we're going to be in a cloud of Mahamaya, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, with all this indirect experiences and all this heartache and head spinning and God, Hare Krishna. Or we can be in the Yogamaya illusion. Hare Krishna. It's an illusion because it's the Lord's energy. It's also an illusion, but it's a wonderful illusion. The relationship with Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna. In the one sense, how can be anybody's Krishna's mother or father or friend or even lover? Who can be this Krishna, this supreme God, right? Oh. But Krishna creates this spiritual illusory atmosphere, which is eternal, it never ends, for this kind of pastimes, where he also wants to surrender in loving exchange. And he creates this atmosphere. But it's eternal. When I say create, it's not exactly a beginning and an end. It's manifest. It's a manifest environment. It's just always manifest. And sometimes he'll appear within the illusory environment and manifest this other spiritual environment and make it visible. But it's always manifest. It's eternal. Hare Krishna, Hare. There's no beginning or end. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wow. Is this auspicious? My left eye is twitching. Or was that a little bug that got on my glasses? I don't know. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Just return. Janaki says, Madhusudana says, that's right. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Janaki says, just returned from street. Beach Kirtan. I'll catch replay tomorrow. Garhari has been starting morning class at 2, 3 a.m. Thanks. Hare Krishna. All right. Woo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah. That's really the power of the kirtan, is that it's attractive. That's what it is. Yeah. It's attractive. Singing and dancing is attractive. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. It's attractive, isn't it? Singing and dancing is attractive. It's fun. Yeah. They'll be attracted to Krishna. That's his weapon now. I was reading that, that previously Krishna had weapons. He would kill demons, and he would reward devotees or demigods. Reward. It was a system of reward and punishment. You've got the club and the disc, and you've got the lotus flower and the conch shell. It's kind of reward and punishment still, a little bit. Hare Krishna, although those that Krishna punishes, kills, they also receive liberation. But in this manifestation, Hare Krishna, Hare, his weapon is his beauty, his attraction. He's all attractive in this. Where's the weapons? Where's the killing? Where's the head cutting off? Where's the... There isn't any. There isn't any. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. The worst that can happen in this one is that someone doesn't actually make it all the way into the Yogamaya and gets stuck in the Brahman. That's the worst that can happen. But for a devotee whose heart and soul is a loving relationship with the Lord, to get stuck in the Brahma Jyoti, it says, is worse than death. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh boy. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so they have to see it. That's how it happens, because of the attractive principle. It's just an attraction. Hare Krishna. Krishna. They have to see the devotee in ecstatic, loving relationship with the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ah, Krishna. Everyone's ecstasy is a little different. What is it? One time, Prabhupada, he wasn't looking very happy. And he was looking very sad. I believe he was looking very sad and very kind of down. And the devotees asked him, something, I don't know. But he responded with, you can't understand my ecstasy. Can't understand my ecstasy. I mean, it's something like Madhavendra Puri, when Ramachandra Puri saw him crying as he was leaving. He was leaving, the body was no longer, he was getting ready to pass away, disappear. And Ramachandra Puri tried to advise him, oh, don't cry, why are you crying? The oneness of spiritual, everything is one, there's nothing to cry about. And he, you fool, because he was crying in separation from Krishna. He says, you fool, if I hear you or see you when I'm leaving my body, I'll be condemned, I'll be cursed, get away from me, go away. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. Keep hearing Krishna. Krishna's mercy is sure to come. Because of being attracted to what is being presented, what Srila Gaura Haridas is showing and teaching, and what now so many of the followers and disciples are also experiencing and showing and sharing. So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's this attraction principle. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 8, text 65. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, I lost my place. I'd already read this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If I want to read it again, wouldn't hurt, I suppose. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Okay. Chapter 9 actually. I don't know why I lost my place. Okay. Here's what's in chapter 9. A summary of chapter 9 has been given as follows by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya. In the 9th chapter, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita has devised a figurative example by describing the plant of bhakti. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'd like to put one of those in my shopping cart. People are attracted to plants. Hare Krishna. Have one of those visible and let people comment on it. Hare Krishna. And tell me how they also have that kind of plant and what they do when, the weeds come or it starts to get a little cold. Tell me about how they cultivate and protect their plant of bhakti. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes. When I was in the Los Angeles in '74, I think it was, I was in charge of Tulsi Devi. Oh boy, did I make a show of that. Oh my goodness. We had like 3 greenhouses. Tulsi was everywhere. There were like 6 artiques a day, all the deities. And there was a lot of deities. Everybody got Tulsi garlands. I mean, it was just, over the top Tulsi. And I was like, one of my favorite things was to walk around with a Tulsi plant and have everybody would bow down wherever I went, because I was always walking around with Tulsi Devi. And Tulsi, that was a lot of fun, actually. So I put this plant of bhakti in my shopping cart, and wherever I go, it can be attracted to it. And yeah, he considers, the author of Chaitanya has devised a figurative example by describing the plant of bhakti. Oh my goodness. Oh Krishna. Oh wow. Now I brought those plants back and they're growing outside in front of the house. Oh Krishna. I have some really, a lot of Tulsi branches, because I had a nice Tulsi garden when I was in South Florida taking care of my father in the backyard, because it doesn't get cold there. And so she survives the winter pretty well. So she was just growing, And she got kind of large. And so there's lots of Tulsi wood. And the really amazing thing was, this is really amazing. When I was getting ready to sell the house and move, I was worrying about the Tulsi garden, because I can't uproot her. She's too big, and to take her with me, she's way too big. And people that are living here, what will they know, Tulsi Devi? I didn't know what to do. amazingly, she disappeared all on her own. And there were like maybe 10 or 15 plants. They all disappeared and just left their wood. They got, I don't know, something in the soil. It does that sometimes, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nematodes or something. And she all disappeared, and she disappeared naturally. So I have all that wood here. I keep thinking, oh, I'd love to make some beads, out of her wood. I really would. So, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur has this summary. He considers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Vishvambar, to be the gardener of this plant because he is the main personality who has taken charge of it. Okay, so this is actually Krishnadas Kaviraj who considers the plant of bhakti, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the gardener. As the supreme enjoyer, he enjoyed the flowers himself and distributed them as well. The seed of the plant was first sown in Navadvip, the birth site of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then the plant was brought to Purushottama Kshetra, Jagannath Puri, and then to Vrindavan. The seed fructified first in Shri Madhavendra Puri. Yeah, well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared after Madhavendra Puri, so where the seed that Madhavendra Puri received, we know it was from Krishna, but I wonder if there's a way to understand how he received, I guess it's just causeless mercy, that the Lord himself, in preparation for his appearance, manifested in Madhavendra Puri. Then his disciple, Sri Ishwar Puri, the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, it is figuratively described that both the tree itself and the trunk of the tree are Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, the Lord was getting ready to manifest, and these associates of his who have an eternal relationship with him started to appear first, and they were carrying this seed of this tree that would sprout. And Lord Chaitanya himself is the trunk and the tree. The devotees, headed by Paramananda Puri and 8 other great sannyasis, are like the spreading roots of the tree. From the main trunk there extend 2 special branches, Advaita Prabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and from those branches grow other branches and twigs. The tree surrounds the entire world, and the flowers of the tree are to be distributed to everyone. In this way, the tree of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu intoxicates the entire world. It should be noted that this is a figurative example meant to explain the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, what a beautiful example, like a tree. What is it? There's a poet, was it Wordsworth, one of those English poets? I think that I shall never see something as beautiful as, anything as beautiful as a tree. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I think that I shall never see something as beautiful as the Chaitanya tree. Krishna. All right, first verse. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual master of the entire world, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a dog can swim across a great ocean. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So this is the humility. Oh, you want to know what humility is? This is a devotee's humility. This is the humility. Let me offer unto the spiritual master, by whose mercy even a dog can swim across a great ocean. He's speaking about himself. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. That's the humility. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not just always bowing down wherever you go and feeling very low and to everybody and everything. No. You're feeling humble in the presence of the spiritual master. Humble in the presence of the Lord. Hare Krishna, that's the humility. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, here's the purport. A couple sentences. Prabhupada says, sometimes it is to be seen that a dog can swim in the water for a few yards and then come back to the shore. Here, however, it is stated that if a dog is blessed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can swim across an ocean. Similarly, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, placing himself in a helpless condition, states that he has no personal power, but by the desire of Lord Chaitanya, expressed through the Vaishnavas and Madan Mohan Vigraha, it is possible for him to cross a transcendental ocean to present Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, Krishnadas Kaviraj didn't just like sit down and start writing. He was instructed by Nityananda to go to Vrindavan, and then he explains in the previous chapter that in Vrindavan there is some worship going on of Govindaji, and there is a chief priest there worshiping Govindaji in Vrindavan in the Temple of Jewels. There's a beautiful description there. And that chief priest instructed him to, I have to go back and see. Anyway, he's getting all these instructions from these different devotees and from the Lord himself to do this. He's on his own, he has no power. So he says, through the Vaishnavas and Madan Mohan Vigraha, he says it's possible for him to present Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah, he's been voted in. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Oh God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You know, these things are going on all levels. You know, so where do you want to get voted in? Do you want to get voted in like Krishnadas Kaviraj through the pure devotees and the Vaishnavas and the Madan Mohan Vigraha? That's how he got voted in. Or Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, the other crowd. But the process really is the same. It's just what assembly do you want to take the instruction and guidance and get the support and help from? Which assembly? What is their qualifications? Hare Krishna. Are they engaged in ecstatic, loving worship of the Lord? And the symptoms of love of Godhead are manifest, and they're experiencing and their revelations and their realizations are extraordinary. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Their appearance is also unusual. They glow from within. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. When they smile, it's from ear to ear. It's not just a twitch. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That assembly or the other one? Hare Krishna, the assembly of rules and regulations and do's and don'ts and reward and punishment. Rules and regulations basically means reward and punishment. This is what it means. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You do this, you get this reward. You do that, you have to experience that punishment. So it's a system of reward and punishment. But beyond that is the transcendental environment where there's only two rules, really. Accept everything favorable for love of Godhead, reject everything unfavorable. So there's rules. There's rules. Accept everything favorable, reject everything unfavorable. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. The reward is you get to experience this wonderful illusion, this Yogamaya illusion. The punishment is you get to experience the other illusion, the Mahamaya illusion. It's like a switch, you know. Ding. You go to this environment, then you accept guidance from those that assembly who are absorbed in that way. And you go to the other environment, you accept that guidance and approval and so on from those in the Mahamaya, the illusory reward and punishment. Hare Krishna, it's still tinted. Hare Krishna, still tinged. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So what determines that basic rule? Accept everything favorable and reject everything unfavorable. Well, taste. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You compare the two. What's the taste and what's the taste? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna. All glory, next verse. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is known as Gaurahari. All glories to Advaita and Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas Thakur. In order to fulfill all my desires, I remember their lotus feet. Excuse me. I also remember the 6 Goswamis, Rupa, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva, Gopal Bhatt, Dasa Raghunath. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And Prabhupada gives a warning here about the process for writing transcendental literature, which would also go, really, for the process of preaching. Well, I mean, seriously, what's the difference, you know? Writing transcendental literature is simply recording down the preaching. Isn't it? So Prabhupada's warning here is the writing of transcendental literature. This is a process for writing transcendental literature. He's taking shelter of all the Vaishnavacharyas, Krishnadas. A sentimentalist who has no Vaishnava qualifications cannot produce transcendental writings or preach. There are many fools who consider Krishna Lila to be a subject of art and write or paint pictures about the pastimes of Lord Krishna with the gopis, sometimes depicting them in a manner practically obscene. These fools take pleasure in material sense gratification. But one who wants to make advancement in spiritual life must scrupulously avoid their literature. Unless one is a servant of Krishna and the Vaishnavas, as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami presents himself to be in offering respects to Lord Chaitanya, his associates and his disciples. One should not attempt to write transcendental literature. Yeah, the way to Krishna and Krishna Leela and the gopis and the Rasa Leela and all of that, Hare Krishna, that whole atmosphere in the Yoga Maya of ecstatic love of Krishna is through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It has nothing to do with material sense gratification. If there's some material sense gratification desire for that manifesting, it's actually an indication that still a little contaminated by material desires, because it has nothing to do with that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But you don't have to worry about it. Don't fret. It's not a reward and punishment scenario, because by getting more and more of a taste of the actual spiritual environment, the actual Yoga Maya relationship with Krishna, and the residents of Vrindavan and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and getting a taste of that environment, that atmosphere. The other thing, it goes where it really belongs, back in the Mahamaya, and it's like no thanks. Hare Krishna. You can keep that. So you don't have to, get all tied in knots if there's still some desire, some agitation, some disturbance. You get all tied in knots about it. It gets purified out by a higher taste. It goes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda. It is by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whether I know or know not, it is for self-purification that I write this book. Wow. And that's also preaching. It's so I can hear. I want to hear this. So I'm speaking, but it's for self-purification. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So he says, it's by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus. He's just offered all his respects and obeisances to the Goswamis and to all the Vaishnavas and the deities, the Vigraha, Madan Mohan Vigraha. And then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. He says that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Seriously, without a connection and without taking shelter of this Sangha, I would really not have any taste or access to any of this. I could look at it and kind of like, an ant crawling on the page. Yeah, there's something there. But the taste would not be awakened. I mean, there's taste here. Hare Krishna, and without the association of the devotees and the followers of Gaur Haridas, and without hearing from him, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. I don't know where I'd be, but I don't want to be anywhere else. Now, I'll be honest with you, be really honest with myself and with whoever might tune in, that if I find something more than this, then, that's where I'll go. But I don't see anything more than this, or equal to this, to what's going on in this Sangha and hearing from Gaur Hari. Yes, I don't see anything more, or even equal, or even coming close, really. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Now, in all honesty, I've said that before. I said that when I moved into an ashram in the old days, like in the 70s, and we would do a Sunday program and people would come for the feast, and it was a preaching opportunity. The Sunday feast was a preaching opportunity. People would come in and the devotees would sit down, they'd pick a guest to sit down with and talk to them and explain about Krishna consciousness. And that was one of my things that I would say. I'd say, you know, I haven't found anything better than this for spiritual life, but I'd be honest with you, and I would tell them, if I do, I would go somewhere else, but I haven't found anything better than this. So I've said that before. Well, now I've found something better than that. And I'm here, tuning in, Gauri, Janaki, and Johan, and Lalita Ganga, and Govinda, and Aman Narayan, and the other devotees, when they get it together to go on, I tune in. Hare Krishna, Hare, and I haven't found anything better than this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. There's I love these little stories, you know, this story about the boy who wanted to serve the greatest master. It's one of those old Bengali stories, I think. So he looked around him and he saw, I'm a servant, I know I'm a servant, and I want to serve, who can I serve? And he saw one of the village men was, he had a lot of good qualities. He worked hard, he was honest, he treated his family, he was friendly, he was fair, and he said, all right, let me become his apprentice. And I don't know, he had some kind of skill, maybe woodworking or carpenter's a good one. And so he became an apprentice, and he was in service to this man, and because he saw that this was the best thing around, because he wanted to serve the best thing. And then the governor of that province came through, and he saw everybody bowing down. They all ran out, and they were giving him gifts, and you know, the governor of the province. And he was dressed royally, and he saw that the man he was serving bowed down. And he thought, wow, if the man, you know, I want to serve the best thing, the highest master, the best one. And if he's bowing down to him, then this one's better. But this is just a way to understand how it works. Because he wanted to serve the best, and that was how he was thinking. Well, my master is bowing down to this one. Let me go and serve that one. And he approached the governor, and the governor took him into service, and he was serving like that. And then one day the king came through to visit the governor, and he saw his governor bow down to the king and offer him all respects, and it made a big festival, and I invited him. There was singing and dancing. The king was here. And so he thought, well, this one's better. Let me go with this one. There's more going on here. There's a lot more going on here. Let me go with this one. He approached the king. The king took him in his service. And then one day, he noticed, well, actually it happened periodically, but one of the times he noticed the king by himself would get on his horse, ride into the forest, and he wanted to know where the king was going by himself. He was very curious about this. He didn't come back hunting. He didn't have animals with him or anything. He said, what is he doing in the forest? So he followed, and he saw from a distance, didn't want to be seen, the king went into a little hut. Very simple dwelling. And the boy, he looked, you know, the hut had little cracks in the walls and stuff, you know, it was just thatched. He went in and he peeked through, and he saw the king bow down, helmet and all, to a very simple man sitting there with nothing. He just had like a little cloth on. And he had a couple pieces of clothing drying, hanging on something. And he had nothing. He was just sitting there. I don't know, maybe he had some scripture. I don't know what he had, but it was simple. And he saw the king bow down to him, helmet and all. And the king sat there for quite some time. As this person spoke to him, he couldn't hear what he was saying, but he could see this. So he said, well, I want the greatest thing. I want the most wonderful thing. I'm going to... And the king left, went back, and he approached... It was a sage, it was a saintly person in the forest, a sage. And he approached him, and he said, sir, I served the carpenter, and then I served the governor, and now I'm serving the king because I want to serve the greatest person. I want the greatest thing. I want the most wonderful thing. I want the best. I want the highest. And now I see the king, he's bowing down to you. So what's the highest? Who's the highest? Where's the greatest? I want that. So he was able to receive instruction about, guess who? Krishna. So, I'm saying, I had that. That's why I'm here. I still have that. It's not going to go away. I want to serve what's got the most, what's got the best. I want that. And now I see it's in this very simple person, Srila Guru Haridas. I want that because I want the best, I want the greatest. And I see that that's what he has. He's a very simple person, but he's got that. I served here, I served there, I was a lousy servant, but I tried. Okay? But I was always, who's the best? Who's the greatest? I approached a lot of people. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? And then really, most of the people didn't know until I found, Prabhupada was traveling and preaching, and he did know. So then I served in that environment. But now, I want the highest. Still, I want the highest. And now it's here. So I'm here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So if there are others out there who really do want the highest, then they can come and hear from Gaur Haridas. And those that are hearing from him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. It's a miracle, isn't it? It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. But I still have that. If there's something higher, I'll go there. But I'm not seeing anything even close to equal, and definitely not higher, more. Definitely not seeing that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj, he's explaining how this Chaitanya Charitamrita is coming into. He does this quite often in the different beginning of the chapters. He's explaining, first of all, he's not competing with Narottam Das. Vrindavan Das Thakur and his Chaitanya Bhagavat. He's not competing. And also now why and how he's coming to write about this. Who has inspired him and actually told him to please do this. The priest in Vrindavan serving Govindaji. And now also, he says again, it's by the mercy of all these Vaishnavas and Gurus that I attempt to write about the pastimes and qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the only reason I can even open my mouth and speak. Me, is by the mercy of this Sangha. The only way I can actually say it, I can speak. Hare Krishna, Krishna. And actually the problem is I can't stop speaking. Hare Krishna. And I see there are others also have this same problem. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. There's so much to say. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. It's unlimited, the glories and the ecstasy of glorifying this path is unlimited. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah. So Krishnadas Kaviraj says, "It is by their mercy that I attempt to write. Whether I know or know not, it is for self-purification that I write this book." Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Krishna. G. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Prabhupada's purport, he says that about it's for self-purification that I write this book. Now, as we know, Srila Prabhupada wrote a lot of books. Okay. He wrote a lot of books. Purporting and translating, he wrote a lot. So Prabhupada's purport, he's talking about Krishnadas Kaviraj saying that it's for self-purification, that Krishnadas is writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. We can understand this is also Prabhupada. That his writing was, actually he was writing for Krishna's pleasure and his in his loving relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada says, this is the sum and substance of transcendental writing. One must be an authorized Vaishnava, humble and pure, which is what Krishnadas Kaviraj shows when he says, I know nothing, but it's by the mercy of these Vaishnavas and it's by the mercy of the Lord. If I say something, right, that's the humble and that's the pure, okay? One should write transcendental literature to purify oneself. Also, to speak about Krishna, one should speak about Krishna to purify the self and please Krishna. Talk about Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare. What's more purifying than glorifying the Lord? So, should purify oneself not for credit. Just give cash, not credit. No, just joking. Not for credit. By writing about the pastimes of the Lord, one associates with the Lord directly. By speaking about the pastimes of the Lord, one associates with the Lord directly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting Hare Krishna, one associates with the Lord directly. By remembering the Lord, one associates with the Lord directly. By offering prayers to the Lord, one associates with the Lord directly. How is that possible? Love, devotion. That's the ecstatic worship. Emotional, ecstatic, and unavoidably dramatic. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. One associates with the Lord directly. One should not ambitiously think, I shall become a great author, or I shall become a great speaker, or I shall become a great singer and chanter. Get that out of here. Get it out. Get out. Get out. Go. No. Get it out of here. The only thing I can become great is a great fool, but I'm already that, so I don't have to strive for it. So yeah, I'm already great. One should not ambitiously think, I shall become a great author. I shall be celebrated as a writer, an editor. I shall become a this, I shall become a that. I shall be celebrated for it. Woo, I shall be celebrated. These are material desires. One should attempt to write for self-purification. One should attempt to speak for self-purification. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One should attempt to chant for self-purification. It may be published or it may not be published, but that does not matter. There may be a crowd if you're speaking, or there may not be a crowd. It doesn't matter. Because the speaking is for self-purification. Crowd or no crowd. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If one is actually sincere in writing, all his ambitions will be fulfilled. Whether one is known as a great author is incidental. One should not attempt to write transcendental literature for material name and fame. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there it is, that rule. One should accept everything favorable for devotional service, love of Godhead, and reject everything unfavorable. There's your rule. Prabhupada's pointing out that's unfavorable for love of Godhead. It's unfavorable to have that material motivation. Even for writing about Krishna, it's unfavorable. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Or speaking about Krishna, it's unfavorable. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Or to be wanted, be remembered by posterity. Hare Krishna. Govinda. Next verse. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is himself the tree of transcendental love of Krishna, its gardener and also the bestower and enjoyer of its fruits. You know, worrying about posterity is a little silly because it's an illusion. It's a temporary manifestation. The reality is in the present moment. That's the reality. The posterity, like in the future generations, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, it doesn't exist. It may or may not be. In the past, it's already gone. So really, all it is the present. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's all there is. It's the present moment. Hare Krishna, eternally. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Striving for something in the future. Wait a minute. All there is the present moment. I just stop. What was that song? Stop the world, I want to get off. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, text 17. Lord Chaitanya thought. Lord Chaitanya thought. Lord Chaitanya thought. My name is Vishrambar, one who maintains the entire universe. Its meaning will be actualized If I can fill the whole universe with love of Godhead, that's the real meaning of the maintainer. Yeah, it's not this material maintaining. He says the real meaning of what it means that he's maintaining is to fill the whole universe with love of Godhead. That's the maintainer. That is the ultimate maintenance. Krishna. That is the truth of the maintainer. Ultimate, highest truth. What a beautiful verse. Lord Chaitanya thought, my name is Vishwambar, one who maintains the entire universe. Its meaning will be actualized if I can fill the whole universe with love of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Well, I can't breathe. I can't catch my breath here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. You want to know the mind of God? That's the mind of God, man. That's the mind of God. That's Krishna, that's literally this mind of God. That's his mind. That's what he thinks. If I can fill the entire universe with love of God, Krishna, that's his mind. Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Yes, I learned, and start with me if you want to. Include me in your plans. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna. That's one of the symptoms of love, is to share the mind in confidence. So what could be more confidential than that? The Lord is sharing his mind. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He thinks, my name is Vishwambar, one who maintains the entire universe. Its meaning will be actualized if I can fill the whole universe with love of Godhead. He's revealing his mind in confidence. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That's his desire. That's what he wants. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Oh, God. Woo. Oh, thank you, Srila Gaura Haridas. Thank you for opening this path up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For taking the Lord's desire seriously and to heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, next verse. Thinking in this way, he accepted the duty of a gardener and began to grow a garden in Navadvip. So it's going to be the tree. It's a figurative way to understand. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Thus the Lord brought the desire tree of devotional service to this earth and became its gardener. He sowed the seed and sprinkled upon it the water of his will. Okay, I'm going to get into about the tree now, so I'll save that for another time. And I don't want to lose my place here. Keep that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You know, I had a really good father, and he wrote little poems, and I made some of them into little bookmarks. And this is one of his little poems. He loved God, obviously. This is his little poem. He says, "Hear the lilting chatter of the birds. Do you know what was said? Could you even begin to guess what thoughts ran through their heads?" Oh man, wow. He's a tough act to follow, that one. Tough act to follow. Hare Krishna. Here's another little poem he wrote. Try to explain your life's greatest change. Odds are you would generate an answer, probably an error. There is no time more demanding and excruciatingly painful than moment awareness. Hare Krishna, Hare Bo, Hare Krishna. You're always with me, Dad. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One time, when he was very old when he passed away, and he fell down. He was always falling down. I was always picking him up off the concrete, up off the floor. He must have fallen down 100 times. Balance, they lose their balance when they get really old. And so he was in the hospital and they were doing the scans, and he was lying in the bed and he looked up at me and he went. And I thought he was angry at me. I did something wrong. Because, he was mad at me. And I was like, uh-oh, what did I do wrong now? Because he was always he was always the father. I was always the daughter. I'm in my 70s and he's in his 90s, and, it's still the same. Oh, he was a lot of fun. I tell you, he was a lot of fun. Oh, Krishna. Because he had love. He had love in his heart for people, for life, for God. He had love. So he was going like this. And then I realized he was telling me, don't worry, I'm strong. I'm strong. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah. So you got a lot of rules and regulations. You got reward and punishment. You've got fear and guilt. It's built in. You have this other path, the path of taste and surrender and love and desire, accepting everything favorable, striving, yes, striving, always striving for more love of God. There's no guilt, there's no shame, there's no reward and punishment in that way. You want to get rid of those things? Anxiety, you want to get rid of anxiety? Surrender to this path, and here from Srila Gaur Haridas and the devotees who are following him, because personally, I don't see that it's available anywhere else. I really don't. And it's so available. We've got the internet, and devotees in all different parts of the world, all have to do is tune in. Just tune in. You know, turn on, tune in, get high on love of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh my goodness. Hare Bol.